Okay. Here we go. Here we go.
Solo money Monero. I'm a cypherpunk hero. I don't care about no profit. I don't care about the narrow. Every hash rate, fuck a banker, so I'ma keep it running. Every hash rate, fuck a banker, so I'ma keep it going.
Okay, guys.
Solo money
I think we're
Monero.
finally
I'm a
live.
cypherpunk hero. I don't care about no profit.
Okay.
I don't care about the
Excellent.
narrow. Every hash rate, fuck a banker, so
Okay.
I'ma keep it
We're
running.
good.
Every hash rate, fuck a banker, so I'ma keep
All right,
it
let's
going.
get started with
Hold
some
up.
nutrients.
What
Need
you
some
doing
Red
this
Bull.
for? You doing it to get rich? I'm trying to make a big
Okay.
bitch. Every hash
I
rate.
think we're good. Okay. Welcome after some famous technical difficulties. We are back. This is the official relaunch of the entire research segment of Trillion Capital. And what? Okay, no one can hear me. Okay, so we are back. We are ready. And we are launching again. So let's just get into it now. So unfortunately, we're in a bull market, which means we must reflect upon the decisions made at the absolute tranche, lowest tranche, or the pit of the market. And you know, we can all look back now and say we should have mined more Casper. We should have done this. We should have done that. But at the end of the day, as I always say, we are drilling for oil. I don't know why or how people continue to pursue the outlook of, you know, this dollar a day bullshit, because that's really not what's going to get you through this. You know, I could clean out my car and find a loony under the seat every day. You know, that's not why we're really into this. It's having upfront capital pooled together, stomaching those electricity costs like a horizontal oil well, drilling for the oil and making the investments when it's not profitable to do so, and then sitting back and counting the money later. And, you know, many of the people here I see in the chat, you know, the guys that were doing it the past 2 or 3 years, who structured their operation accordingly or made extensive sacrifices to get through it. I congratulate everyone on that front. You know who's not here? The promo code cunts. The liars, the frauds, the people who mine flux, probably of suicide. But again, there was many wrong ways to survive this market. And why I'm upset that things are up now is because it didn't truly get to expose it didn't get to truly expose those who weren't properly capitalized, who perhaps were over leveraged. This is essentially a bailout of the global markets for the second time. Unfortunately, you know, I'm wearing my Onakoi shirt because we've been mining in testnet for 2 years now. You know, it's a longer duration oil drill for many of the outlooks that I have with these projects. You know, everyone loves Caspa now, but, you know, people like us that were all mining it when there was only the web wallet and it, you know, was double, triple zero. Okay, great. You know, we never stopped mining. I just turned inward rather than being publicly facing as we regrouped, as we revamped, as we reanalyzed the strategy. And you know what changed? Not very much. There hasn't been a good project come out in multiple quarters. Yeah, I still do have. Yeah, so no, we never stopped mining anything. We never shut off a single machine. We only had about one or two failures of ASICs, and that's it. And they did get thrown out the window into the ocean where they belong. But what we've done is kept the same strategy, and by not doing anything and maintaining that same strategy of going off the fundamental projects with unique algorithms, stomaching the cost, who cares about the cost? Because you're in it for the longer haul, especially with these fast-tracked projects where the progression from CPU to GPU to mini ASIC to large ASIC is so fast-paced now that you have to have a longer-term view. So, for example, everybody was criticizing me for the past few months for mining Nexa since the first day it came out, its release date, until now. This is not a structured broadcast, as I'm sure it's quite apparent at this point. We have a lot to talk about. It's been, probably 2 quarters since I've done this. So we do have the Discord now. You do got to buy 10 trillion carbon tokens. That's either on the Nexon network or the Casper network. And that's only to keep the scumbags away and the people who want to talk about dog coins and bullshit. I'm not dealing with any drama. I'm not dealing with any bullshit. I'm not dealing with none of that shit. It's money, and that's it. Research. And that's it. And that's why that's there. I certainly do not need $10, and I'm not going to touch any of the purchases that are made in those wallets. Those are going to remain there in perpetuity. Hopefully we'll drive some organic volume of the trillion carbon token that we've made. So sorry, the video not working at the beginning kind of threw me off a little bit. Got to rebalance the wheel a bit. But anyway, like I said, for something like Nexa, for example, talking about almost record low difficulty and hash rate. The price just spiked like 48 hours ago. By strategically mining that, we started solo, and we've continued. We've always had about 50% of our hash rate on there for multiple quarters now. You still have about, 100 days till the first halving. And it's plagued by its large emission schedule in its early days. So this strategy, if we're going to keep building the infrastructure, maintaining the infrastructure, taking the Halliburton drill bits and continue to drill until we hit the Gusher rock. And that Gusher, in my perspective anyway, would be the halving. In between now and the halving for Nexa, you've had a freebie from its inception until they released that FPGA or ASIC, large ASIC, which they've already stated they're going to do since day one. Well, if graphics cards are shit, don't make money on a day-to-day basis, et cetera, you have to take a longer-term duration. Not for the money per day that a graphics card is going to make, but for the fundamentals of the project, you want to accumulate using that hardware in preparation for the drastic increase in cost to mine and participate and secure, and the electricity consumption thereon too. So we're mining Nexa simply for the fact that we want to mine as much as we can now with shitty 3080 chips, so we don't have to buy a $30,000 US ASIC that's running 3,200 watts 24/7 and melting the fucking paint off the walls. So that's why we're doing that. And then if you couple that with the halving, you have upside potential. Planet Watch. Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, wow. So, Planet Watch actually got bought out by some dick that wears a Speedo while driving or riding around on his Olympic bicycle. If you need any further description, the purchase price was $2 million, and they essentially acquired a network of 150 million euros worth of sales sensors. And pennies on the dollar, fractions of a penny on the dollar. and they're inheriting essentially 150 million euro network for 2-3 million bucks, keeping the same board, the same team that led to its catastrophic failure. They're rebanding on Solana, and they're making under a 10% allocation of the new tokens to the participants of the old. So, about as bad of a turnout as you can get. They banned me from the Discord for asking questions that seemingly I would only ask, unfortunately. That's the summarization of Planet Watch, which will now be ambient. We did launch the Trillion Carbon token. As I said, there's the Nexa-based one and the Caspa-based one. The Caspa one is duly listed on Caspiano, who I will have on the channel here at some point because I do like what they're doing, as well as the KSPR Telegram bot. The Nexa Dex is not released, so you can't trade it. It has to all be OTC. That will get you the VIP status for the Discord. That's only to keep the homos away. So, again, if $10 isn't in your budget, well, sorry, buddy. So anyway. Now, continuing on, again, I keep jumping around because there is a lot to cover. I'm getting a shit ton of messages here. What we need to focus on is the longer term aspects. So with the graphics cards, we were mining Warthog for 2 quarters now. Because the Janus hash is very unique. Not many people are going to combine a GPU and a CPU into a unit. And the increase in carbon tax in Canada is the only reason I was looking at increased inefficiency of computation. We were very competitive at 8 cents US for 2 years, but the carbon tax has made it equivalent to about 9.5 now in Toronto. So when you're mining Warthog, not only using 2 components, so easier to manage, CPU and GPU, but it's only using like 100 some odd watts, maybe 200 if you got it cranked for a 3080 and a 5950X. So we stuck that strategy out. It did very well, especially for the heat of the summer and everything else. And now you can see that, it's 60, 70 cents a coin. So it's doing exceptionally well. And that play paid off very well. Again, Nexa is a longer duration play. Its emission schedule has plagued it, but I think it will soon outperform as we go forward. GeoNet continues to acquire, partner, buyout, and fundraise, and really just dominate the entire sensor space, of which, if I would pick one, Wingbits has shaped up to be kind of really the next GeoNet. Really, if I had to pick, probably the most successful project in that space, in terms of ingenuity, fundraising, its unique ability to actually improve on a real world thing. I think it has a lot of promise. For no electricity, is a good hedge against the increase in electricity costs. It's really interesting because you've had a lowering of interest rates. Inflation has headed back up. Everything is hitting all-time highs, yet you don't really see adoption or it's extreme early days of a new speculative frenzy. And although welcomed from whatever, again, I just encourage more fundamental outlooks and longer duration bets, especially as we are approaching 1 or 2 generations behind in our equipment. Thank God there is no new Kadena ASICs or things of that nature. They have plenty of new ASICs to make. But, our 30 series chips, our 5950 CPUs, they're certainly aging. There's better out there. So it's strategic to squeeze as hard as we can on that lemon to get that last remaining performance out of those chips of quality projects. There hasn't been anything in ages that has struck me as innovative or anything out of the norm. And very fortunately, we were mining it all at the bottom, as many of the people in this room are. So it's very important. Again, we acquired a clothing brand, a luxury clothing brand, called Plutos, and we actually have it's a very ultra luxury brand. You can go to the trilliancapital.ca website to see it. Really, the reason I'm bringing it up is because there's no shortage of blockchains. There's a shortage of people using them. So with this clothing brand, we actually have an envelope with a seed phrase in it, and it has the Trillion Carbon tokens that come with the clothing, and that guarantees the authenticity of the shirt, because we all know Flux couldn't give the NFTs over 2 years later. So I didn't want to fuck around with the NFTs. I thought it's pretty innovative. Both of the coins only has a million supply. It's used for internal purpose. You can use it for all kinds of stuff. I'm not trying to sell anybody. I'm simply telling you what I'm doing with it. It's an internal corporate memo. Yes, Octaspace has remained good. It's the only we've had those things running, the iPolos and the ETC ASICs on there for ages, and they continue to perform. And once the emission schedule for Octaspace is done, then it's proof of stake. So we're going to mine everything until the end of its mineable span, and then we are going to stake it. Now, QRL for CPUs is going to also do the same thing. They're going to run out very soon, and then it's going to be proof of stake. So we've been mining that with some CPUs, and the other portion of our CPUs has been on Monero for some time. We stopped mining Etika because we obviously accumulated so goddamn much of it. When they switched from Ethash to XMR, we stopped. But looking at the profits as of late, as much as I love Monero, I do like mining Etika here on the CPUs. I think that's going to keep a few people alive. I mean, the emission is very low, very slow. Same with Kyla Coin. I think it's pretty interesting. So there's definitely some very interesting things going on. I would love to hear everyone's battle stories of what they did, what saved them, because there's 20% of your return of your portfolio is going to be responsible for 80% of your returns over time. So for us, it was Caspa, it was GeoNet, and things like that really just got us through. And we never sold. I'm saying nominally what kept us worthy of further investment. Essentially, that is things like that did it. Now we have Warthog and things of that nature. So, it's really an interesting time to be mining, because you have such a large amount of equipment available that keeps getting released every year and a half, but nothing really new to mine on it. So I have been very reluctant to continue to upgrade hardware. It's more just tuning, accumulating, in different realms, different dimensions, and experimenting while we can, and while it's still technically competitive globally to do so at about 9 cents, because in another year or two, the carbon tax in Canada will triple again and again and again, and we will be saying the same price as the average American, which is still better than Europe, but certainly not really competitive to stomach all the electricity costs that we do. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how it plays out. So I'm not sure exactly, if anybody's been mining Warthog next, that's been our 50% and 50%. That's what has been on for some time. We've taken some winnings, put it into Bitcoin Cash. It's been really slow, very simple. We're seeking simplicity, not complexity. Yes. So I'm not sure what everyone's been doing. I've kind of been taking away. Again, we made an acquisition of the clothing brand. I made the tokens. We're going to be doing the Kadena Trillion Carbon token as well. We have the Discord launched as of last night, about 1 or 2 in the morning. Yes, that's true. No, yeah, I am back online here, but no, I never stopped. We never stopped mining. We continue to accumulate. We've done fairly well. We've just been chasing other verticals to generate Canadian dollar-based revenue to continue to subsidize our mining operations. Because there's no new coins, there's no new nothing, you kind of just continue to do nothing as a decision in and of itself. and just find different ways to subsidize and outperform. So yeah, I've kind of been in the shadows as well too. I don't see. Yeah, okay, XCL and Alio. Yeah, no, I've heard they're doing good things for sure. For me, the reason, like I said, I like Nexa is the funding. I'm actually going to have him on an interview for the show here very shortly, and same with Kevin Watt of Etika again. And we're gonna get that going again. The reason why I like Nexa is there's a book called Hijacking Bitcoin. I highly suggest everyone gets the audiobook at least and listen to it while you're driving down the highway. What I think is important there as a lesson is the Bitcoin core team. They all got in a big fight. Bitcoin Cash. I'm going to ruin the book for you. Made Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin Cash guys kind of got into it. They made Nexa. Okay. Obviously, Retro Mike knows this. He knows everything. He's a god. We all know this. But it was when I read that book that I truly understood what he meant, and it couldn't be more accurate. And that's why I like Nexa. Not only the funding, but the essentially the core values of Bitcoin with the programmability of Ethereum. Very interesting stuff. So I am just trying to accumulate as much as I can with our existing hardware, which is aging before that ASIC comes in. So I know I've said that about a moment ago. Virus has been a great play, although I've continued to tell myself I've missed the boat on that. It continues to do exceptional. We've had a few different plays that have done well, but not much. Not much has changed, to be honest. Really, not much has changed. And boarding is good if you are successful at it, which it has been. So now, we've just been sitting and waiting and sitting and waiting. But again, chasing these new coins for $1 here, $1 there has just never been my strategy. It never will be the strategy that we follow. And we're going to continue to take the path less traveled. I'm not sure what promo code dickheads are doing. I'm not sure what new scam coins there are or whatever, what the drama is in the space. And frankly, I don't really care. We're here to make money. We're here to accumulate. We're here to educate ourselves and everyone else. And that's what we're going to do. So again, generating 10% yield on GeoNet with borderless capital now invested into WingBits. Did you ever? Yes. Sheds. Holy fuck. Oh, I'm having flashbacks now. Yes, Nuco Cloud's been a thing. We just had those 2080 shitters out back break. I got them at Jackie's house. He's fixing them up. Nuco Cloud was very good, especially in the testnet phase. It was definitely something good, especially for the electricity consumed. It did very well. Again, we're using unminable on a couple different things, or swapping into projects that we don't necessarily like into Bitcoin Cash to complement as a lower beta play on Nexa, almost a hedge against Nexa, if you will. But it's been doing good. Again, I know I'm not saying anything new here, and that's kind of the point I'm trying to illustrate. Nothing's really changed, except for the launch of the new token, the acquisition we made, the website's up. We have about 3 other verticals that we're doing that are not crypto related, and I'm certainly not going to try and sell them here, but different things that we're experimenting with and doing very well. This is just kind of humming away in the background at this point, trying to make it as automated as possible, while still, keeping our finger on the pulse for innovation. And I'm just going to return this email here. But yes. So I don't know if anyone has, again, I want to come out with a bang. Believe me, I got plenty of things to say. No, we are not mining flux. Okay. I can assure you that. I hope no one else is either. I don't even know what the price is. FPGAs. Okay, that's a great question. Thank you for filling in my absence of thought, which happens quite frequently. FPGAs, yes. But Jordan's been resetting them about twice a day now because of this Ironfish. They have problems. They went from top performer. It's something I was very optimistic about, but it was always something that was adjacent to either GPUs or the ASICs. So I knew this day would come where there's really nothing to put them on. I'm just very saddened. And so shit. Yes. So, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do a million things at once. I've been very busy. You've been doing very well. Now, one thing I'd like to say is, again, when we have Kevin Watt up here, you'll see some of the inroads on the medical side with Etika. It went from such an obscure corner of the market. I still have extremely large amounts of optimism directed towards it. And when he comes on here shortly, it'll be very, very interesting to see some of the developments. The pools have expanded. It's on CPU. It's more sustainable. I mean, I really, really like it. And frankly, they should have been on XMR the whole time. Yes, Kadena. I truly think this new token feature on Kadena is going to be the make or break moment. Either it elevates it to a usable level besides just crank being 90 something some odd percent. Sorry, I'm just reading the comment. For avoid burnout. Well, Red Bulls are a good start. It definitely does get tiresome. Now, XNet, we are out of. The Helium has been, again, this very stagnant. Trust me, I do get burned. No question about that. Yeah. So, we have, I think, 9 cranks with one consensus node still going. I am hopeful for some kind of future with them. I am not sure what we're going to do. I'm sorry, I'm not prepared as I usually should be. But again, if you look at the Warthog statistics, we mined it for 6 months now in the doldrums, when even I, in the middle of the night, was contemplating its survivability. And now to see it like this and the hash rate go up, I'm thinking about putting all the CPUs that were on there onto Etika, and then all the GPUs just go full Nexa. Just go full Nexa to accumulate. Because it's the only thing that is really undervalued, well-funded, and just fundamentally had bad luck in terms of everything they did. I mean, just no one using it, no one's building on it, although you can. Sorry, again, dealing with scale. Again, we have so much interest and so much revenue coming from other sources it is very refreshing to not be so reliant on the crypto yields as we once were. So what we've been doing, again is with these other revenues, is trying to now create synergies amongst the things. So the clothing company with the mining, we merge it. The other 2 or 3 product offerings, we're trying to conduct some type of research to merge it. So I've been just trying to, I would say this is the time for consolidation of resources, team building, education, and what you selected over the past 3 years is going to determine your returns anyway. 2 or 3 months of Bitcoin above 70 grand isn't really going to do anything for you. It's what you did yesterday. And this is what I'm saying is the decisions you make today are going to generate your returns a year from now, 2 years from now. So anyone can say what they want about our strategy, but it certainly is differentiated. And the funny thing is, most people turned offline. You know, many of the guys in here are the same gentlemen who were here when it was absolutely apocalyptic. And we all stuck it out. And congratulations. Again, I can't say that enough. Let's have a little golf clap. Okay, excellent. We'll pass the hat for a worthy cause. Keller's going to need it when he gets arrested. So what we're going to have to do is find the pathway forward, because there's under 5,000 core blockchain developers that make every single aspect of crypto run every day. And that's including the proof of SHISO, not just proof of work. So very, very underutilized, misunderstood, and a lack of talent in the space. That's why this is stagnated like this. So of our current selection, do we forecast new projects? It doesn't really look like it. So it looks like we have to turn backwards from where we came and analyze who is still funding, who is still growing, who is still innovating, and are we going to pay top dollar for this new hardware to participate in those specific networks? It's a very hard choice to make. Personally, what I wanted to do is most likely, once the Nexa ASIC comes out, for example, divert some revenue from the other sources and just go and buy the Nexa ASIC, host it at Hawks, and just be done with it, honestly. You know, it's simplistic, it's autonomous. I mean, I don't want to seem lazy, but it seems like that's the way it's going, right? So, and with the large Bitcoin miners now saying that they're mining altcoins, Caspa, the most recent example, well, maybe next quarter or 2 quarters from now, you're going to find out one of those projects was mining Kadena, and that's why the hash rate doubled. Or they have another ASIC, they're mining Alufia, what have you. So it seems like the large players are going to come in and saturate what we're doing as if it already wasn't saturated enough. And I think that's important because we're trying to front run future inflows and capital injections. So the fact that we're mining Nexa or any of these projects on our graphics cards is when Red Panda and Retro Mike were mining Kadena on their graphics cards, something that is completely unfathomable today. Right. So, yeah. But, again, unscripted, obviously, as always, I'm always open to suggestions. Sorry, again, yes, I have been in doing business overseas. Now here, you know what? For shits and giggles, I will show you this because of lack of things to distract. This is our Havana project. This is the clothing brand, for example. Plutos, which is the Greek god of wealth. That is the denarius coin. That is Julius Caesar. In the bag, you have Giza Egyptian cotton, which is the most expensive cotton in the world. Inside here is an envelope. This is the seed phrase of the wallet, of the Otaplo wallet for Nexa, where we can authenticate and guarantee that the brand and the shirt is numbered and correct. So it's a very innovative idea. Flux still has not sent me my NFT for the watch. So I didn't want to go that route. And I just thought that I'm very proud of that. It was a lot of work. It's very innovative. We have a graphene, Venetian carbon graphene collection, and we have the Havana collection, which is all hand sewn in Cuba with silk threading. So no expense was spared there. It's 900 Canadian for the Havana shirt, 400 Canadian for the graphene shirt. Really, really top-notch stuff. Not trying to sell it here. I'm simply telling you what I'm doing. And then our other two product streams have done very well. Now, why am I bringing this up? Certainly not because I'm trying to sell it to you. It's because with those piles of cash that we are building over time, they will need a home to deploy in terms of computational power. So, yeah, no, there is no NFTs. No, there's none of that shit. Yeah, exactly. This is just trillion tokens on an Otaplo wallet, a Nexa wallet, in an envelope. Simple, cool, blah, blah, blah. This capital is going to need a home. So do I just drop 30, 60, 90 grand on some ASICs, host them at Coastal Crypto, Hawks facility, what have you, pay the power up front and just accumulate crypto that way as the duration and glide path of these projects matures over time? I think that's a very real possibility, to be honest. Graphics cards are certainly not worth buying at $2,000 Canadian a piece. They're going to have a new one out anyway. And usually these new chipsets spawn more new projects, and that just hasn't happened. So why are you going to buy 40? Why are you going to buy 50 series? So anyway, guys, that's what we're doing. Now we're doing this relaunch. You want to know why? Because I don't see anybody doing a goddamn thing different either. But a lot of guys who got online, we'll have a moment of silence. It is Remembrance Day. So let's remember what people did thinking, that was the right thing to do, where ethics were the first casualty of war. Let's give a Remembrance Day shout out to promo codes, to Flux, to AI, to all the liars and all the bullshit. And let's congratulate ourselves for making it this far. Now, where does it go? That's a good one, Mike. That's a good one. We are certainly not futurists here, but the emissions on Caspa is gone. So how do we buy a miner for that? Kadena, extremely stagnant, and Bitmain is certainly overdue for making a new one. Well, where do we go and what do we do? I don't know. And I'm perfectly comfortable embracing the uncertainty and embracing the stagnation in this environment. What causes a financial crisis in Canada, for example, if I may be so descriptive, is the ability for the housing market or the economy to go into extreme depression, not just from price collapse of real estate, but actually for just the price to stagnate and stay the same and have no rate of change to it is enough to stagnate and destroy the economy. So that's kind of what we're experiencing in crypto. Prices have stagnated, innovation has stagnated. Now the prices are going up about 72 hours ago. That's why I'm pissed I'm even doing this while it's up. I like it when it's down, when everyone's crying that they have no money and they're going to have to sell their house to buy a can of soup. And that's just not what we're having here. So when we're doing this, I just like to stress that, again, I'm sorry, my mind is completely preoccupied with 3 or 4 other people messaging me simultaneously. So I'm sorry if I I'm not being very descriptive today, but basically, that stagnation with new hardware coming out and no new projects coming out is bad enough. So yeah, the prices are up, but it's just not good enough. You're talking about 50 cents or $1 a day. How, you know, for a $2,000-$3,000 setup, that's not going to do a goddamn thing. Although GeoNet was excellent, on 2 or 3 years, it is a halving every single year. So even that door is closing. Wingbits coming out, I'm telling you right now, is going to be amazing. Well, actually, 50% of all hash rates have some kind of exposure to crypto now. There's a great chart I put on the Trillion Discord a few moments ago. If you haven't joined that, then go ahead. But it was actually showing that almost all of the old holders of Bitcoin are selling are using the ETFs as exit liquidity. Simply to when a company goes public on the market, they are selling their shares, the founder shares, to the retail through a investment bank. And that's exactly what's taking part here. BitTensor, that's, ages ago we tried to mine it. It was really hard. If it's become easier, I would know because I stopped looking ages ago. Nothing wrong with that project. And there's nothing wrong with AI as a whole. I'm just saying, the people that are saying Clore AI, all those absolute idiots, that has not changed, I don't think. We don't operate off narratives. We operate off fundamentals and data that is provided. We go where the hash rate is not and sell when it shows up. That has always been the strategy. Warthog is the most recent success story for us. We're getting over 10,000, 14, 50,000 a month. In Warthog, it was really exceptional, I expect nothing less from Nexa. More money from reduced interest rate and increased M2 money supply has to chase fewer goods. So we're naturally going to get a rise in all the liquidity, which will rise all the boats. But I do think Nexa has been neglected and undervalued. I know I keep saying it. I'm just going off the top of my head. Even WeatherXM's listed on mainnet now. That's the point of the cycle we're at. Even WeatherXM on mainnet. Sorry, I dropped my glasses. Oh, so. Again, stock market's at all-time highs. Corporate earnings are doing fine. Anyway, guys, yeah, we're just getting started. I wanted to come out with a bang, and then as soon as I went live, boom, three messages. And it's absolutely fucked my head up this entire time. It's kind of important. So it's kind of got me all whatever. But I wanted to come on here, make the announcement that we're back live. We got the Discord. We're going to have the research firm going again. We're going to be better than ever, stronger than ever. And we are not going to capitulate to the bullshit narratives that are about to ensue when it's simply a lowering of interest rates and inflation restarting again. Look for oil at $1.20, $1.50 a barrel. Look for housing prices to go through the fucking roof. Of course, crypto. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to continue to do that. If anyone has any questions, comments, or whatever, let me know. Yeah, Wingbits is good. So So it's going to be very interesting. Anyway, guys, yeah, not much going on. I heard Alios has some good things going on, but there's really nothing going on. And I like it that way. So we're going to shut her down, but come into the Discord, buy the stupid 10 trillion carbon tokens, become a VIP so you can actually get in there and chat. Otherwise, it's just a blank screen. Again, we need organic volume on that token. It's just to keep the riffraff out. And if $10 bothers you, if it goes against your morals, well, then have a nice day. But I think it's important now for unity within the community. I think it's important for innovation in research. I think it's a battle of the minds at this point. And we need to all collectively identify the directionality of where this market is going. Because although nominally it is going up, where's the future hold for hardware? I mean, certainly it can't truly just continue to be a new NVIDIA graphics card every year. Chasing the same couple coins. Certainly it can't be, a tweak of this, a fork of that. I think we've truly reached a peak in innovation, is my point. And just for the last 3 to 6 months, I've been reflecting and thinking of how to proceed. But we never shut anything off. We still have anything running. I'm sure you can hear it in the background. I know I fucking can. Goddamn fans, man. So storage has underperformed substantially. Usually when everything's doing good, it outperforms historically over the past few years anyway. But it's my very best. So we're really either just getting started in the potential gains. We're only about 10% capacity for inflows of capital. So there's definitely room for upside in the price of these coins. But you'll never be able to mine Caspa again. Hell, you'll never be able to mine Kadena again once, with the K3 coming out. They're going to have a new one come out. And I don't know who's going to spend 20, 30 grand on that thing. You're never going to mine Nexa. We're at that absolute last gas station on the outskirts of town in terms of what you can do with this hardware before it becomes completely obsolete. So I'm just trying to, again, focused on quality. No spec mining anymore. No, nothing. We're maintaining what we have and the same thing over and over again. So I'm going to head out. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you guys in there. Thanks for everything. It's good to be back. We'll put a formal presentation together. We will go through earnings as we do all the time, and we will do everything else that we did, but better, more efficiently, more professionally, and we will get the job done on the return staircase to heaven. Thanks, guys.